So a few weeks ago, right, I was at the mall on Boxing Day with a few of my friends, and we decided to go into the Sephora because we like to smell the fragrances, if I'm being honest. And we were having a good time and all. And then something kind of caught my eye. I noticed a group of 5-10-year-olds walk into the fragrance section and start spraying pretty much every fragrance there. And then they go over to the Tom Ford private line. For y'all who don't know, Tom Ford is this guy who has this is a fashion designer, right? And his private line of fragrances go for $500 sometimes. They're very expensive. And I'm thinking in my head, what is a group of 10-year-old boys doing in Sephora smelling $500 fragrances? Like, aren't you guys like wanting to go to the Lego store or something? What's going on here? And then I realized that the answer was right in front of me all this time.
I changed my top 10
The top
fragrances.
5 best fragrances
In particular,
you could buy
I have
right
a
now.
new favorite.
$7,000
Fresh
worth of
fragrance.
my
My
fragrance.
favorite.
For the
Let's
Melon
check out my
Let's
top
every
10
fragrance from the
fragrances.
Dior
Creative
private
fragrance.
line.
This
I'm
is
here with
basically the
Dior.
first
The
fragrance.
Paris.
I give this.
Oh man. I don't think there's a doubt in anybody's mind that social media has led a lot of people to discovering new hobbies and new stuff that they really enjoy, including me. I am one of those people. I've discovered a lot of things that I don't think I would have enjoyed if it wasn't for social media, right? However, at the same time, there are kids on these platforms who are very impressionable. And one of those things that I think they're most impressionable about is fragrances. Imagine you're 13 years old, right? And you want to start impressing people at school. And then somebody online tells you, hey, if you want people to notice you and you want to get compliments, then all you have to do is buy Dior Sauvage or Versace Eros. It's that simple. So this kid goes out and buys like $100 fragrance. And then he shows up to school just hoping that somebody will recognize him. That's why I think that fragrances, especially for kids, have become so popular and so mainstream with younger audiences. And honestly, I think a lot of this stems from fragrance influencers on TikTok that promise their audiences empty promises with no guarantees or anything just for their own benefit. In younger kids, I've seen this in younger kids, but I've also seen this in mature audiences as well when it comes to compliment fragrances. Like, people will just buy fragrances just to get compliments on them, right? I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, if you buy a Zara's The Most Wanted EDT or Strong Review Intensely, everybody's gonna want to know how you smell like that. All the girls are gonna give you all the compliments in the world. You're gonna get unlimited compliments and unlimited attention. Oh, it's so ridiculous. I see this happen a lot on TikTok. Everybody just wants to know, like, everybody just talks about how they get compliments on their fragrances. Like, if you really enjoy something, why are you doing it for other people? I just don't understand that. Why is your main thing only getting compliments? Don't you actually just want to smell good for yourself? Why are you buying this for other people? Buy it for yourself. This also happens on YouTube a lot as well. I've seen videos where people will like promote all these fragrances, and then I go into the description and it shows that the creator earns commission on almost all the products he features in the videos. It's absolutely ridiculous. You want to know what's actually going to get you compliments in the real world? Your looks. How you present yourself. How charismatic you are. How you cut your hair, for example. How you dress. No one cares how you smell like. Well, some people do care. Like, I'd say if you smell good, that adds 5 to 10% of more attractiveness to you. But however, you gotta do a lot more than that to get compliments on your fragrances. A lot of the time, people just use it as like an excuse to strike up a conversation with you. Like, oh, you smell pretty good. Like, what is that? And then they'll like continue a conversation with you. But you gotta do other stuff besides smelling good. It's not the most important thing out there that you have to spend like $500 on like a certain fragrance just so you can get people to talk to you. It doesn't work like that. Something I've noticed as well on TikTok is that I've watched these videos by creators that pretty much are trying to tell their audiences that you cannot buy designer brand fragrances. You have to buy ultra niche fragrances by like Otto Parisi or Nasomato or like Toscovat, for example. just to smell different than anyone else. Like, you want to smell different than that guy who's wearing Dior Sauvage? You have to smell like a wet, dying, bloody battlefield. It doesn't work like that in real life, if I'm being honest. In real life, I barely smell anybody wearing fragrances. Barely anything at all. I just smell the most blandest scents imaginable in the real world. Well, I just don't get it, right? Most people only wear fragrances out to like special occasions. Most people don't like wear fragrances like for day-to-day use unless you're really into it, right? I'd say, in my experience, maybe 1 out of 500 people in my life are actually wearing fragrances. For example, like a month ago, it was my exam season, right? And the guy in front of me was wearing some blue fragrance. I didn't know what it was. And that was the only time I've actually smelled a fragrance in public. And it was actually kind of annoying because I'm trying to focus on my exam, and this guy in front of me just smells like a whole bottle of perfume. Something that I've also noticed is that fragrance creators like to hype up one specific fragrance like for 1 or 2 months, then dump it and move on to the next one. Like in October to November, I've been seeing so many TikToks about Stronger Of You Intensely. Now that's over, I'm getting Azaro the Most Wanted Parfum everywhere. I think the most notorious example of this is with Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir. People who weren't even into fragrances knew about it, right? Just because of how hyped it was. But now that's just dead, and people just keep moving on and on and on and on and on. I think it's completely stupid. I bet you that since the hype died down for Stronger Hue Intensely, I bet you people that went out and bought it probably haven't even used 50% of the bottle yet. It's like, it's an addiction at this point for most people, I think. You buy a fragrance, move on to the next one. You buy one, move on to the next one, hoping that somebody will give you a compliment on how you smell. Now for me, I really do enjoy fragrances. I think it's a nice little hobby that I have. But what I cannot stand is the online community. I think the online community misses the mark on enjoying fragrances so much. Well, I don't know if that's kind of snobby to say, but to me, all I see is people going on about what other people have to think about their fragrances. To me, I just want to smell stuff that I really enjoy. It blows my mind how, I guess, Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace can smell like toasted marshmallows and like have smoke in it. Like it smells like you're by the fireplace. Or a fragrance like Kilian's Angel Share just smells like a baked warm apple pie. That just blows my mind. And I do not care if I get compliments on my fragrances or not. I just care if I like the scent and if I really want the scent on me. Listen, I don't think there's any right or wrong way to enjoy fragrances. But when you do it for the attention of other people, it just irks me a little. Because you're not really doing it for yourself. You're just doing it in hopes that people will just give you approval. I think it's really good that fragrances are blowing up like this, trying to introduce it to like new people who probably never have heard of fragrances if it wasn't for like Jeremy Fragrance, for example. Jeremy Fragrance is the number one fragrance icon that follows the teachings of Jesus Christ. But he's very important to the community because he has millions of subscribers on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and he's just introduced a lot of people to it. I'm pretty sure you've seen this guy as well. However, what I think just misses the mark is when, well, as I keep saying and saying and saying, is when they just want to do it for compliments and nothing else. I just don't get it. Personally, I do not just get it. At the same time, I do think that a lot of fragrance icons on the internet don't really care about their community that much, but just care about what they can sell and push to make money. I just want to end this video just by saying that I am not a fragrance creator at all. I just wanted to talk about this because I see this a lot on TikTok, and it's a little bit insane to me on how just common and normalized this is. I'm just a YouTuber who likes to talk about random internet stuff, and that's just one of the things I see on the internet very frequently. I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but I certainly have. My name is Markatic. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.